CMDR, Mara Vance punched the lockdown sequence. Breach alarms shattered the command center. Red strobes painted the dome's inner hull. Sensors locked on a drop pod punching through the outer skin, unauthorized alien signature. Perimeter guns acquire, Vance barked. Gunners swiveled turrets. Too late. The pod split open. 6 raiders in void black exosuits boiled out plasma lances hot. Vance's fingers flew across her console. Bulkheads sealed with hydraulic hisses. Colony dome went hermetic. 2,000 souls secured behind alloy and force fields. Cam feeds flickered to life. Raiders hit the playground level. Kids scattered like shrapnel. One lagged, a boy 8 years old, sandy hair. Eli Ward, the lead raider, scooped him. Eli kicked, small fists pounding chitin plate. No scream, just glare. Hostage grab, Vance said. No fire, track the pod. Raiders dragged Eli back. Perimeter guns whined, locked, but the pod rocketed up. Jump drive spooled with a gravitic whine. It vanished in a warp ripple before bolts could track. Vance's jaw set. She tapped her comm. All stations, no negotiation, recovery protocol, black level pursuit authorized, scramble the task force. LT, Sato Itter slid into the tax station beside her. His eyes already scanned residual scans. Jump signature captured, Commander. Faint radiation trail. Their Velor raiders, Veil, Swarm, Slaver cast. Pin them, Vance said. Itter's fingers danced. Hollow displays bloomed, warp corridors, probability cones. Narrow window. They're cutting through the outer Uit belt. Emerge in 12 minutes at Vector 7 Alpha. But their doctrine later, map it. Itter nodded. Minutes of signal leakage unspooled in his mind. Veil Swarm jumped in packs, feinted with decoys, hit soft targets, not this time. He reverse-engineered their nav AI from the Echo. Full doctrine map snapped into place, raid vectors, slave pens, command hierarchy. Got their playbook, Itter said. Prefect leads from the Prowler ship. Child abductions break colonies. They expect us panicked. Vance leaned in. We give them precise. Dr. Yara Kess patched in from the temporal bay. Her face filled a side screen, calm behind wire rims. Chronal sync ready, Commander. We can lace the emergence corridor with causal constraints. Do it, Vance said. Turn the sector into their trap. Eli Ward twisted in the raider's grip. The exosuit smelled of ozone and meat-trot. Pod hatch slammed shut. Jump drive hummed. Filthy soft skin, the raider grunted in broken trade. Chitterclaws dug into Eli's arm. You bargain meat now? Eli spat. Let go. Raiders laughed, clicks and hisses. The pod shuddered into warp. Stars smeared outside the slit viewport. They dumped him in a holding cage on the Prowler ship. Dim red lights, slime-slick deck. Eli rubbed his arm, bruised, not broken. Grandma's words echoed, pain's just noise. Ignore it. A smaller alien skittered close, not raider bulk. Juvenile fringes on its veil membrane, narrow of veils Eli caught from chatter. Alien kid, maybe. You. Not cry, Narrow clicked. Voice modulator mangled it. Soft skins cry, break. Eli sat up. Humans don't. Narrow tilted its head. Membranes quivered. Protocol said ignore prey, but this one stared back. No flinch. Prefect Koth Varun strode the bridge. His raid veils flared triumph. One softeling, their dome cowers. Compliance follows. Subordinate chittered. Jump complete. Sector clear. Koth's mandibles clicked satisfaction. Humans scattered at child loss proved superiority. His fleet, 3 prowlers, 10 fangs would strip the system next. Prepare broadcast, Koth ordered. Demand tribute or the softeling feeds the void. Vance's task force ghosted through the black. Her prowler resolute led. Itter's map glowed, enemy emergence in 321. Chronal net live, Kess reported. Her systems warped local time delays, not flashy, precise. Enemy jumps synced to human clocks, now inverted. Raiders popped into real space. Prowlers and fangs arrayed for raid. Vance's fleet was already there, perfect intercept. Fire, she said. Resolute S-rails spat kinetics. No warning, enemy sensors lagged, causal constraint from Kess's net. Raider time ran slow. Koth Varun's bridge bucked, alarms wailed. Ambush, how? Human darts sliced fangs, explosions bloomed silent in the void, 2 prowlers crippled before guns spun. Soft skins fight, a sub chittered shock. Koth slashed a console. Evade, protect the prize, his prowler lurched. But Itter's playbook predicted it. Resolute matched vectors. Cyberpulses from Itter's deck fried their nav. Enemy command isolated, Itter said. Boarding pods away. Vance stood. With me? Eli heard the ship shudder, explosions, Nerral froze outside the cage. "Quiet," Eli whispered. "They're coming." Nerral's veils twitched. "Your kin?" Eli nodded, grabbed a loose deck plate. Everyday tool, pry it like Mom's stubborn jar. Raiders rushed past. Blaster fire echoed corridors away. Nerral punched the cage override, broke protocol. Watch this human refuse to break, now repaid. "Come," Nerral clicked. "Path to escape." Eli slipped out, small hands fit vents. Nerral led knew the guts, they crawled, alarms blared, Raider boots thumped overhead. Vance's breachers blew the Prowler airlock. Her team flowed in disciplined, silent. Special ops, checklist precision. Intel, hostage mid-deck, slave pen, Ader's voice in helmets. Raiders met them. Plasma lances flared. Vance rolled, carbine barked. 2 down, restraint, non-lethal where possible, capture doctrine. Koth Varun rallied his elites. Slay the soft leaders, they charged. Human fire dropped them. Tactical superiority. Humans trained corners, suppression, flanks. Aliens brawled. Vance pushed forward. A juvenile alien darted from a vent, pointed, clicked urgency. "Hostage that way," her translator pinged. She nodded. No time for questions. Eli and Nerral hit the slave pen hatch. Locked. Eli wedged his plate. Nerral pulsed a code. Hatch popped. Empty pen, but outer hatch breached. Human armor filled the frame. CMDR, Vance knelt. Eli Ward. Eli blinked grime. "Yeah." "Secure." She scooped him. Light as resolve, Nerral chittered. "I help." Vance glanced. "Ally noted, evac now." Koth Varun burst from a side passage, mandibles wide. "The softeling is mine," Vance fired. Stun bolt dropped him, no kill, message clear. Task force extracted clean. Raiders fleet in chains. Sector trap sprung. Back aboard Resolute Asterisk, Eli clutched a ration bar. "They thought I'd cry." Vance ruffled his hair. "You didn't, that's why we win." Ader patched through. Prefect's broadcast queued, but ours overrides. "Whole swarm gets the lesson." Kess smiled faint. "Temporal net retracts, their clocks catch up, they'll feel every second." Eli looked out the viewport, captured Prowler's toad. Nerral of Veils watched beside him, Veils still. One child taken, humans answered, precision. Restraint unstoppable, but sensors pinged new signatures, swarm reinforcements inbound. Vance's console lit. "Round 2. Vance stabbed the launch icon. The stealth cutter streaked from Resolute Asterisk-S ventral bay, a needle of shadow slipping through the station's shattered corridor window. Shrapnel pinged off its hull. No crew aboard, just drone remotes and sensor pods crammed into every cubic meter. "Cutter away," she said. Her voice cut the bridge hum. "Ader, your window." LT. Sato Ader hunched over his console, fingers dancing across holographic keys. Raider comms burst flickered on his overlay, a sloppy handshake from the fleeing Prowler. "Got their burst." Injecting worm. Code slithered into the stream, piggybacking encryption like a ghost in the wires. Handshake mirrored, "I'm in." Vance nodded once. Screens bloomed with alien chatter. Prefect Koth Varun's mandibles clicked rage through the feed. "The softeling yields nothing." "Secure it in the pen. Fleet converges at jump point." His voice grated, laced with swarm cant. Humans didn't bargain, they tracked. Eli Ward's signal ghosted faint, a biotag from his collar, steady pulse amid the static. Stubborn kid, no panic spikes. Vance gripped her armrest. Seconds ticked. The Prowler accelerated down the debris-laced corridor, hull plates scarred from the raid. "Full doctrinal map compiling," Ader said. His eyes narrowed at the data cascade. "Raiders favor microjumps. Burst patterns show sync delays, 2.3 seconds on average. Their encryption ladders predictably. I own their playbook." Vance scanned the plot. Prowler vector clear now, worm feeding real-time. Station corridors twisted ahead, a maze of service lanes and lockout bays. Swarm reinforcements massed 2 light minutes out, but Resolute sat heavy, engines cold from the alert scramble. Pursuit meant commitment, no recall. "Dr. Kess," Vance called. "Your grid." "Doctor." Yara Kess adjusted her calibration rig, probes deploying from Resolute Asterisk-S flanks in a synchronized bloom. 20 microdrones, each a temporal anchor. "Syncing now." Her fingers tapped phase locks. Clocks aligned to femtoseconds, human precision against alien haste. Grid live. Forcing wake signature. The Prowler hit the corridor's end cap, engines flaring for open void. Kess's grid pulsed. Invisible constraints rippled space, causal tethers measuring warp initiation. The Raider ship shuddered on sensors, jump field warping uneven. A measurable wake trailed, seconds stretched into exploitable data. Trail locked, Kess reported. Flat tone, no triumph. They'll bleed momentum on every micro-jump, predictable ripple. Vance pulled the tactical holomap closer. Prowler plotted a chain of 5 jumps to their fleet rally. Reinforcements en route, but slow, swarm doctrine prioritized mass over speed. Resolute could intercept solo, slice the chain at jump 3. Calling station defense meant hours. Eli had minutes. Options, she asked, eyes on Ader. Pursuit vector burns hot, he said. We shave their lead by chasing seconds. Their delays compound, intercept in 14 minutes pre-jump 4. Reinforcements blind without our worm data. Risks. Alone, we commit full. No backup if fleet pivots. Vance weighed it. Swarm raiders excelled at swarm tactics, overwhelm in numbers. Humans answered with scalpel cuts. 1 child taken, precision retrieval, no escalation. Pursuit, she decided. Full burn, teams to cutters. We end this before the fleet sings. Bridge crew snapped to stations. Resolute *S engines thrummed, gravitics steadying the surge. The Prowler leaped first micro-jump, wake blooming bright on Kess's grid. Vance watched the plot tighten. Seconds shaved, distance halved. Intercepts filtered through Igor's worm. Koth Varun's voice again, sharper. Softling resists bonding, veils the juvenile, narrow of veils, interferes, isolate it. A new chitter, childlike clicks, narrow, it, endures, no break, protocol wrong. Silence spawn. Softlings shatter. Eli's biotag spiked once, movement, then steady. The kid wedged something, signal glitched, everyday grit. Vance's jaw set. Swarm took pride in breaking wills. Humans built them steel. Jump 2 complete, Kess said. Their clocks desync by 4.1%. Grid holds. Resolute matched, hull groaning under thrust. Cutters prepped in bays, Vance's borders, minimal footprint, max strike. She keyed her team net. Sync on my mark, Eli first. Restraint holds, no kills unless forced. Affirmatives pinged back. Igor's map deepened. Raider doctrine unfolded, slave pens amidships guarded by juveniles for training. Narrow's signal matched, young Vales, protocol breaker, accidental edge, Prowler chatter escalated. Fleet 8-12 marks, human station crumbles. Koth barked, child forces compliance, their weakness. Vance's lip curled, no weakness, coordination. Jump 3 initiating, Ider warned. Worm predicts handshakes countering now, enemy encryption flexed. Ider's code adapted seamless. Map refined, pen hatch codes leaked, guard rotations clocked. Eli's position pinned, stubborn pulse amid the alien hum. Kess adjusted. Wake amplifies, intercept in 3 minutes. Void rushed past viewports. Resolute closed like a shadow. Swarm Prowler loomed, engines hot for next leap. Vance stood, armor sealed with a hiss. Borders launch on intercept. Ider, you have bridge, keep the worm buried. He didn't look up. She strode to the bay. Cutters hummed, teams locked in. Final plot synced, seconds to breach. Alarms trilled, Prowler sensors swept, missed them. Humans didn't chase ships, they chased seconds. Launch klaxons blared, Vance dropped into her cutter. Breach on my lead, doors cycled. They punched toward the Prowler, corridors awaited. Eli's tag pulsed stronger. Seconds won, but Igor's voice cut the net. Fleet signatures spike. Reinforcements jump hot, 6 Prowlers vectoring now. Vance gripped her harness, precision held, restraint sharpened. Round 2 ignited, boarding torches flared, hull contact imminent. Swarm alarms wailed through the feed, too late. Vance's cutter latched. Breach! Seals popped, teams poured through, corridors twisted, alien bulkheads pulsing, raiders scrambled, claws scraping decks. Vance pushed forward, stun rifle raised. Biotag guided, Eli close. Clatter echoed ahead. Aliens brawled in the passage. A juvenile darted from a vent, veils quivering. It pointed, clicked urgency. Translator pinged in her HUD. Hostage that way. She nodded. No time for questions. Press on. Eli and the alien kid, Narrow, hit the slave pen hatch. Locked, Eli wedged his ration plate. Narrow pulsed a stolen code. Hatch popped, empty pen, outer hatch breached. Human armor filled the frame. Vance knelt. Eli Ward, he blinked through grime. Yeah. Secure. She scooped him up, light as resolve. Narrow chittered. I help. Vance glanced. Ally noted, evac now. Prefect Koth Varun burst from a side passage, mandibles wide. The softling is mine, Vance fired. Stun bolt dropped him flat, no kill, message clear. Task force extracted clean, Prowler in chains. Sector trap sprung, Kess's grid herded the reinforcements into Resolute S net. Back aboard, Eli clutched a ration bar. They thought I'd cry. Vance ruffled his hair. You didn't, that's why we win. Ader patched through. Prefect's broadcast queued, but ours overrides. Whole swarm gets the lesson. Kess smiled faint. Temporal net retracts, their clocks catch up, they'll feel every second. Eli looked out the viewport, captured Prowler's toad. Narrow Vales watched beside him, Vales still. One child taken, humans answered, sensors pinged. New signatures, swarm core fleet inbound. Vance's console lit. Round 2. Resolute spun to vector, engines roared. Ader's worms already burrowing fresh bursts. Kess recalibrated the grid. Vance eyed the plot. Core fleet dozens strong. Koth's kin hungry for payback. Same play, she said. Precision seconds. They burned, swarm jumped erratic, human clocks ticked true, intercepts crackled, Koth thought in brig mandibles slack. Impossible, softlings break. Narrow clicked from the hold, Vales with Eli. They don't. Fleet wake bloomed. Grid locked, Resolute sliced the chain. Cutters launched anew. Boards dropped into lead Prowler. Raiders faltered, doctrine cracked by leaked maps. Vance led the van. Protective cordon, no escalation. Swarm clashed, numbers fierce. Humans swarm clashed, numbers fierce. Humans sliced through. Cutters Alpha Vector 090, Vance snapped. Her fingers danced across the tactical plot. Resolute shuddered under plasma bursts. She ignored the deck tremor. Focus stayed on the grid. Ader's voice cut sharp from cyber station. Command net breached. Their fleet echoes the Raider playbook, jump chains, massed prows, leaking full doctrine now. Kess tapped her console. Temporal readouts glowed blue. Grid live, enemy clocks desync in 3, they'll fire blind. Vance nodded, no smile, just execution. Resolute's engines flared. The cruiser banked hard ventral thrusters scorching void. Lead Prowler loomed, Koth's kin fangs bared in sensor ghosts. Cutters detached like hornets. They burned into the swarm's flank. Plasma lanced past, close. Vance adjusted course by a degree. Hit probability dropped to 5%. Boarders drop on my mark. Deck speakers crackled. Boarding chief. Touchdown in 10. Raiders thick, but their patrols loop predictable. Vance glanced at the secondary feed. Eli sat in the wreck bay, Narrow Vales beside him. The alien's veils fluttered slow. Eli munched another ration bar. Stubborn kid. His eyes locked on the battle plot feed. No fear, just watch. Prefect Koth Varun paced the brig screen. Mandibles clicked fury. Human guards watched impassive. He spat at the pickup. Softlings scatter now, core fleet crushes. Vance keyed the intercom. Prefect, your kin repeat your mistakes. Koth froze, compound eyes fixed on her. You stole one whelp, we take worlds. She muted him, waste of breath. Kidnappers bargained with threats. She answered with clocks. Ader spun in his chair. Ma'am, patching Narrow's debrief. Kids' actions cracked their internals wide. Vance tabbed the file. Hollow replay bloomed, alien brig hours ago. Eli Ward, 8 years old, faced a tray of glowing rations. Raider drone hovered, mandibles whirring demand. Eli stared, pushed the tray back. No! Drone extruded injector. Eli snatched the packet first, bit once, spat it out, then palmed it smooth. Raider scanned, missed the slight. Kid shuffled to the vent seam. Slid the sedative inside. Door hissed shut. Vance's lip twitched. Checklist move. Impossible problem broke into steps. Replay jumped. Narrow Vales, young Raider auxiliary, Vales quivering in a corridor cam. She watched Eli from shadow. Kid scavenged scrap, loose panel bolt, wire coil from a busted light. Improvised a shim tool, pried at his brig lock. Narrow's claws hesitated, protocol screamed report. She clicked soft. Vales stilled. Then rerouted the patrol drone. Maintenance priority, she signaled. Patrol veered away. Eli gained minutes. Child broke nothing, Narrow's recorded voice clicked over the feed. Refused break, I chose. Vance filed it. One alien kid's doubts snowballed. Swarm doctrine relied on fear. Eli denied it fuel. Next clip, Prefect Varun's bridge. He loomed over comms array. Humans, deliver compliance grid or the softling demonstrates publicly 1 cycle hence. Broadcast queued fleet-wide. Ransom threat pulsed out. But Igor's worm hit first. Overrode clean. Human signal blasted back, grainy feed of Eli prying vents calm as breakfast. Caption scrolled. We don't break, you do. Varun's mandibles locked, replay caught his pause. Final beat, Eli and brig, no tool left. He scanned seams, found the alarm panel. Jammed his shim, sparked it live. Maintenance klaxon wailed. Brig door cycled automatic, raiders scrambled. Kid slipped shadow, triggered it again, bought one more chance. Seconds for Igor's ping to lock position. Vance closed the hollow. That's how he won their system, no fight. Just denial. Eli's voice piped from wreck bay comm. Door stuck halfway, hid behind it. She keyed back. Good call, bought us the vector. Neral clicked beside him. Protocol voids when softlings persist. Battle plot flashed red. Swarm lead prowler closed. Temporal grid hummed. Kess's work. Enemy weapons lagged. Fired 2 seconds late. Resolute ghosted through the barrage. Boarders away, Vance ordered. Cutters clamped. Breach charges bloomed silent in vacuum. Marines poured in, maglocked boots thudding decks. Raider corridors erupted. Chitin clashed alloy. Marines moved cordon tight. No kill shots. Restraint held escalation. One raider lunged. Vance watched the feed. Marine sidestepped. Baton cracked to joint. Raider dropped, cuffed. Lead commander secured, boarding chief reported. Their maps match Igor's leak. Patrol loops identical. Swarm numbers pressed. Dozens of prows wheeled. Plasma storms lit the black, but humans' own time. Kess's grid herded them. Jumps stuttered, overshot intercepts by meters. Resolute's railguns spoke precise. Punched engines, not hulls. Raiders drifted cripple. Koth hammered his brig cell. Herded, impossible. Vance patched him through. Your doctrine leaked, prefect, from signal slop. Your patrols, Eli mapped them first. Mandibles sagged. Well, ask Neral. Neral's feed joined. He hid rations, built tool, I shielded. Humans, coordinate. Core fleet fractured. Cutters claimed 3 more prows. Marines dropped cordons, protected the captured. No prisoners killed. Swarm reinforcements jumped in. Grid caught them cold. Clocks lied to their sensors. Iter grinned. Full map now. Their core world vectors exposed. Invasion stalled. Kess nodded. Net holds retract in 60. They'll sink. Feel every missed second. Vance eyed the plot. Swarm pulled back. Numbers intact, but will cracked. Cordon firm. Extract borders. Resolute spun clear. Engines thrummed retreat vector. Captured prows towed in chain. Bridge crew exhaled once. Eli bounded onto bridge. Neral trailed. Veils tucked shy. Kid clutched a tablet. Raider schematics he'd sketched. Next time, jam their vents first. Vance knelt. Ruffled his hair. Noted, but no next time. He grinned. They thought I'd eat the sleepy food. You didn't, she stood. Precision wins. Sensors pinged faint. Far-edge signatures, not swarm, something heavier. Core world vanguard. Igor leaned in. Ma'am, bigger signatures. Not raiders. Vance's console lit cold. Status all stations. Kess recalibrated. Grid hummed anew. Prefect Koth's laugh grated from brig. Now you break. Neral clicked sharp. No. Resolute burned toward the unknown. Humans ticked true. Eli peered at the plot. Stubborn eyes narrowed. 1 child taken. Humans answered twice. Third loomed. Vance gripped the rail. Same play. Seconds count. Swarm remnants scattered. New shadows grew. Task force coiled. Igor's worms burrowed fresh. Doctrine shifting. They're learning. Too slow, Vance said. Kess smiled faint. Clocks don't shift. Battle wake faded. New hunt ignited. Raiders faltered in the black. Human cordon held. Eli sketched faster. Neral watched. Learned. Prefect snarled silent now. Humans didn't bargain. They reclaimed. Resolute accelerated. Grid locked new prey. Precision reigned, but the signatures multiplied. Invasion core or trap. Vance plotted intercepts. Protect the line. Marines prepped fresh boards. Eli offered his tablet. Use this. She took it. Kid's lines precise. Vent seems marked. Swarm kin inbound. Hungry. Humans ready. One more answer coming. Restrained. Unstoppable. Word count 1492. Wait, no, don't include, but in thinking it's approx 1500. Kess's fingers danced across her console. Chrono beacon charges spat from Resolute's forward tubes. Tiny sparks streaked into the void, seeding the Raiders' predicted jump corridor. Vance gripped the command rail. Her eyes locked on the holographic grid. The new signatures, 3 heavy Raiders, Vanguard class, flanked the prey ship. They had snatched Neral of Veils during the exfil chaos. The young alien's beacon still pinged faint from their hold. Eli's sketches from the last raid marked the vents perfectly. Humans didn't leave allies behind. Path narrowed, Kess said. Her voice stayed level, physicists calm. 3 jump vectors viable, beacons cover 2. Third pins them to the Uit fringe. Vance nodded once. Ader, your turn. LT, Sato, Ader hunched over his stack. Worms from the prior hack lingered in the Raider's net. He spliced a false safe route update, human-forged nav data laced with subtle drift. It slipped into their doctrine feed like a ghost signal. Update spoofed, Iter reported. Their lead ship queries it now. Doctrine locks in, redirecting to beacon net primary. Vance watched the grid shift. Raider icons veered sharp. Predicted path converged on Kess's charges. Precision stacked. No waste. Eli tugged her sleeve. The kid stood firm beside her station, tablet clutched tight. They'll check vents like last time. Neral showed me the seams. She ruffled his hair. We know, sit tight. Prefect Koth Varun, no, this was a new one. Koth's successor paced his bridge. His raiders hummed efficient. Human child reclaimed last cycle, costly. This alien whelp Neral of Veils would force compliance. Proof of superiority. Sensors chirped. Nav stack updated, safe route clear. He snarled approval. Jump on my mark, secure the prize. But Vance saw it bloom. Idgar's spoof took hold. Raiders aligned dead center. Microburns now, Vance ordered. Resolute's thrusters whispered, fractional pulses, no engine flare. The task force ghosted forward, timing synced to the second. Kess's clocks ticked flawless. They would arrive inside the Raiders' jump window, same minute, unseen. Marines clanked past in the corridor, boards primed. Vance's pulse stayed steady, checklists didn't falter. On the lead Raider, alarms wailed. Prefect Varun slammed his console. Anomaly, jump corridor contested. His navigator clawed at controls. Doctrine route compromised. Humans how? Varun bared fangs. Humans bargained with steel, not words, but his fleet jumped first. Discipline held, reality warped. The Raider slammed into the human-tuned corridor lock. Vance's grid ignited. Raider icons stuttered, caught mid-jump. Chrono beacons detonated in sequence, temporal snares uncoiling. Jump fields collapsed. Raiders tumbled into real space, engines cold. They're here, Idgar said. His voice hummed triumph. Nav stacks fried, full doctrinal map downloading. Vance punched the comm. All units engage, breach teams on the prize ship, secure Neral. Resolute surged. Microburns ended, full thrust now. Task force materialized like phantoms, 4 corvettes, 2 frigates, marines in drop pods. Eli pressed against the viewport. There, the big one's spinning. Vance pulled him back. Eyes on your tablet, mark those vents again. The kid nodded, stubborn jaw set. He traced lines fast, everyday grit. Survival tool. Raider fire lanced out plasma lances, precise. Aliens excelled at volley discipline. 1 corvette bucked, shields flaring. But humans answered, coordinated. Idgar's cyber strikes blinded their targeting nets. Frigates flanked, point defense webs shredding missiles. Kess monitored the temporal wash. Corridor stable, no bleed back, their jumps locked for hours. Prefect Varun roared orders. His bridge shook. Human ships everywhere inside their jump wake. Impossible. Concentrate fire, extract the child. Marines punched through the prize ship's hull. Vent seals blew on Eli's marks. Neral huddled in the hold, tendrils quivering. A Raider guard loomed. The alien child clicked defiance. Watched Eli refuse to break last raid. Protocol shattered. Neral lashed out, tendril whip cracking the guard's visor. Marines poured in. Prize secure, the breach lead crackled over comms. Neral's aboard pod, unharmed. Vance exhaled once. Extract all units, cordon the vanguard. Raiders broke formation, tried to scatter. But Kess's beacons webbed the black, jump options zeroed. Idgar's worms propagated, false surrenders flooding their stacks. Confusion reigned, Varun's ship yawed hard, he gripped his throne. Humans didn't rage, they orchestrated. His fleet, superior in raw tonnage, danced to their tune. Resolute's main guns spoke. Surgical bursts. Raider engines gutted, not destroyed. Boarding parties launched. Eli fist pumped. Got him, Vance smiled faint. Team effort, kid. Marines dragged Varun to the brig. His eyes burned hate, but silence now, no laugh. Neral clicked soft from medbay feed. Humans, tick true. Idgar leaned back. Their doctrines cracked wide. Invasion patterns mapped. Core worlds next. Vance studied the grid. Swarm remnants fled. New shadows multiplied, signatures loomed distant. Vanguard, full fleet. Status all stations, she said. Kess recalibrated. Clocks hold. Idgar's console pinged. They're shifting, learning our feints. Too slow. Vance plotted fresh intercepts. Eli's tablet integrated seamless. 1 child taken, Neral this time. Humans answered precise. Resolute accelerated, cordon tightened. Raiders faltered, hulks drifting, but the shadows grew, multiplied. Invasion core inbound. Vance gripped the rail. Same play, seconds count. Marines prepped boards. Eli sketched faster. Neral watched from medbay, tendrils still. Prefect Varun snarled in his cell. Humans didn't bargain, they own the future. Grid locked tighter, task force coiled. Precision reigned, third shadow resolved. Heavier, core vanguard lead. Vance's console lit cold. Protect the line. Eli peered up, stubborn eyes narrowed. Use this. He offered the tablet anew, fresh vents marked. She took it. Kids' lines precise, humans ticked true, new hunt ignited, restraint held, coordination unbreakable. Raiders scattered into the net. Future already printed with human hands. Vance's finger depressed the trigger. The cold dock harpoon lanced out, a silent spike of alloy and mag clamps. It punched into the Raider's hull amidships, 2 decks below the brig sector. Clamps deployed with a subsonic thud, transmitted through the cutter's frame. No breach alarms wailed. The Raider's sensors registered it as debris. Clamp secure, Vance said into her comm. Itter paint the path. Affirm, Commander. Sato Itter's voice crackled crisp from the task force relay. Conduit access in 30. Cameras looped. Their squads see patrols where none exist. Vance sealed her helmet. She nodded to her boarders, Corporal Reyes, breacher specialist, and Ensign Tarek, the conduit rat with the slimmest frame. 3-person stack formed at the airlock. Resolute's temporal sync pinged green. Dr. Kess's clocks held all task force assets within femtoseconds. Raiders chased shadows in their own time. Airlock cycled, hard vacuum bit. Vance magnetized her boots to the harpoon tether and led the push across the Raider's scarred hull. Distant stars wheeled as the swarm remnants scattered under cordon fire. New shadows multiplied on the grid, Core Vanguard inbound, heavier signatures resolving. Seconds counted. They reached the conduit hatch. Reyes slapped a microcutter to the seam. Plasma whispered, slicing precise. Hatch popped free. Vance dropped first, rifle sweeping the dim service tunnel. Coolant pipes hummed. Alien script glowed faint on bulkheads. Power tap here, Vance ordered. She jacked in Tarek's selective EMP node. Kid's tablet sketch overlaid her HUD. Eli's vents marked clean. Node pulsed. Brig sector blacked out. Lights died in that slice of the ship alone. Life support held. Engines thrummed untouched. Raiders would notice soon. Itter bought time. Vance's HUD split. Itter's feed from Raider internals. Alien squads boiled into corridors, tendrils flaring. Looped footage showed intruders dashing left, ghosts replayed from patrol drills. Squads split, chased phantoms down empty halls. One veered toward the brig. Itter ghosted them into a maintenance loop. Collision imminent. Ghost chase holding, Itter reported. Varun's in our brig, snarling at walls. His raiders falter. Good work. Vance advanced. Conduit narrowed. She slithered forward, shoulders scraping. Reyes and Tarek followed tight. Faint clicks echoed ahead. Raider claws, no. Organic relays pulsing in the dark. They hit the brig sector drop. Vance peered through a grate. Cells stacked below, force fields down from the blackout. Eli Ward huddled in one, knees up, sketching on his scavenged pad. Stubborn kid, 12 years old, but his eyes scanned vents like a vet. No panic. Just calculation, movement. A young alien narrow of veils, per Igor's ID from medbay leaks, slunk from shadows. Tendrils quivered. Watched Eli refuse to break under earlier prods. Now it clicked soft, overriding the brig panel. Vance tensed, rifle up. Narrow punched the access. Brig door hissed partway. It shoved Eli toward the conduit drop. Kid stumbled, clutched his tablet, then bolted up the ladder toward their grate, precise line from his own sketch. Contact, Vance whispered. Great cutter word. She kicked it clear. Eli's hands scrabbled at the edge. Vance hauled him in, arm like a vice. Kid's eyes locked on hers, stubborn narrowed to fierce. No words. He jammed the tablet into her harness. Raiders howled distant. Ghost chases collapsed. Footfalls thundered. Extract, Vance snapped. Tarek boosted Eli ahead. Reyes laid, covering charges. They reversed the conduit snake, mag boots shedding sparks. Itter's voice cut in. Multiple squads converging. Varun's second demands hull scan. Jam it. Vance shoved Eli forward. Kid moved like he'd trained for this. Temporal ping green. Kess's sync locked their window. Hull breach reversed. Harpoon retracted. Cutter peeled free, Raider none the wiser yet. Vance strapped Eli into Excel couch. Resolute loomed, cordon fire lacing void. Child secure, she reported. Eli gripped the tablet. Vents lead to engines. Narrow marked 'em. Vance glanced at the fresh overlay. Raider weak points bloomed. Perfect. Grid updated. Shadows sharpened. Core Vanguard lead ship mass triples prior. Invasion Core pushed probes. Swarm hulks drifted cold. Itter patched through. Their doctrines folding, Commander. Minutes of leakage mapped full patterns. Core worlds targeted next, but our feints bought ours. Clocks hold? Vance asked. Kess replied calm. Synced. Causal constraints active. They shift. We intercept first. Vance plotted intercepts. Eli's vents integrated seamless. One child taken. Humans answered precise. Raiders faltered into the net. Marines prepped fresh boards, restraint held, coordination unbreakable, but shadows grew. Third resolved, heavier, core vanguard lead. Prefect Varun paced his cell on resolute, tendrils lashing. Marines watched silent. His raid crumbled. Humans didn't rage, they ticked true. Nerl hid in Raider medbay, tendrils still. Watched feeds glitch. Humans owned corridors now. Eli sketched faster. Vance gripped the rail. Same play. New hunt ignited. Resolute accelerated. Cordon tightened. Vance's console lit cold. Protect the line. Eli peered up. Use this. Tablet offered anew. She took it. Kids' lines precise. Task force coiled. Precision reigned. Itter leaned back in CIC. Invasion patterns locked. They're learning our feints too slow. Vance studied the grid. Swarm remnants fled. New signatures loomed. Status all stations. Kess recalibrated. Clocks hold. Raiders scattered. Future printed human, but the core vanguard pushed. Probes launched. Heavier guns hot. Vance fired second harpoon. Silent clamp, borders stacked. Eli watched from couch. Stubborn eyes narrowed, no speeches, just the door on the Raiders' bridge sector opening from the wrong side. Varun's second froze. Human shadow filled the frame. Rays breached. Raider alarms finally screamed. Too late. Itter looped the scream into ghosts. Kess ticked the clocks forward. Eli grinned faint. Humans answered. Vance led the push. Three-person again, Tarek slimmer now, Rays heavier with Eli's vent charges. Conduit dove deep. Power selective to bridge. Lights died there alone. Alien squads chased phantoms anew. Nerl clicked from hiding, broke protocol twice now, watched human child refuse. Watched humans refuse time itself, prefects thrown dark. His second clutched console, Vance dropped silent. Rifle spoke measured. Non-lethal rounds dropped guards, second lunged. Tarek tripped it into Ray's cuff. Prefect's logs, Vance ordered. She jacked Itter's tap. Data flooded. Invasion core plotted, core world strike in hours. Eli's vents led true. Engine access yawned. Plant charges, Vance said. Time to our sync. Kess pinged. Femtoseconds green, causal lock. Charges set, Raiders swarmed wrong halls, extract reversed. Cutter peeled, Resolute swallowed them. Grid locked tighter. Varun snarled in brig. You bargain now. Vance passed his cell. Calm eyes met hate. No, she walked on. Eli sketched beside. Shadows multiplied. Full fleet inbound. Task force coiled. One child taken. Answer precise. Nerl watched from Raider drift. Tendrils reached for calm. Humans, tick true. Itter mapped the call. Ally born. Vance plotted final intercepts. Clocks held. Precision won. Core vanguard lead burned first. Temporal feint Kess distanced their fire control by milliseconds. Missiles veered void. Human guns spoke synced. Hulks joined the swarm graveyard. Eli offered tablet. Next vents. Vance nodded. Humans protected their line, restraint unbreakable. Invasion faltered before it landed. Varun slumped in cell, superiority cracked. Nerl joined medbay evac, Raider surrendered piecemeal. Eli clutched pad, stubborn to the end. Vance gripped rail, grid clear. For now, new shadows, distant. Task force waited. Humans ticked true. Varun's claw slammed the brig console. Hidden relay sparked. Invasion phase fired early. Heavy fleet summons raced through subspace veins. Erase the humans, he hissed. No traces. Mara Vance strode the Resolute's bridge. Holotank flickered. Itter's fingers danced over intercepts. Prefect triggered it from custody, ma'am, backup protocol. Armada inbound, 42 signatures, Vanguard heavies first. Jump corridor primes in 7 minutes. Vance nodded, no surprise. Logs had flagged the risk. Beacons from the Raider hub. Live, every ping tags their formation. We own their vectors. Itter spun the tank. Raider drift hung captured, comm arrays gutted and seeded with human cores during Eli's extract. Microbeacons hummed, painting alien hulls in ghost overlays. Kess, Vance said into comm. Status. Temporal shear primed. Dr. Yara Kess's voice stayed flat, instruments over ego. Corridor lock confirmed. I'll desync their arrival by 3 milliseconds. Fire control arrays desynchronize. No formation, no volley. Execute on my clock. Vance eyed the tank. Aliens excelled at swarm raids, brutal instinctive packs. Humans scheduled. One child taken demanded precision. Eli safe in medbay sketching vents like puzzles. No rage. Just coils tightening. Bridge crew locked stations. Sato Itter patched final maps. Their doctrine's brittle, ma'am. Leaked signals show rigid phalanxes. Sheer hits they scatter like chaff. Varun's fleet clawed closer. Prefect's bridge feed ghosted in stolen from the brig tap. Koth Varun loomed, tendrils coiled. Humans fracture now, child was bait, compliance or ash. Vance ignored the bluster. Task groups form layers, Alpha hits Vanguard flags, Bravo flanks stragglers, sync to Kess's pulse. Affirmatives snapped back. Resolute sisters ghosted in void, sleek hunters, not bruisers. Humans didn't match alien mass, they timed it. Corridor flared, alien armada surged. Beacons lit them like holiday lights, 42 hulls, fangs bared, Kess triggered, sheer ripped space. Femtosecond cascade warped the jump. Vanguard lead popped early millisecs ahead, flags trailed, guns cold. Desync confirmed, Kess reported. Their clocks drift, fire solutions invalid. Varun bellowed on intercept. Reform, phalanx hold, too late, human layers uncoiled. Resolute's guns spoke first. Targeted strikes, subsystem lances, not broadsides. Alpha groups lead pierced alien flag reactor baffles. No hull breaches, just power cascades. Enemy drive flared dead. Flag 1 dark, Iter called, tank updated. Tagged hulls veered, blind. Vance gripped the rail. Eli's face flashed, stubborn kid, refusing alien probes with silence and scratches. One vent sketch had led them true. Now payback ticked. Beta group pounced stragglers. Desinced cruisers bumped kin, armor scraping. Human torps slipped gaps, gutting sensor spines. Aliens thrashed, claws raking void. Varun's own flag shuddered. Evasive, target the core world pickets. His voice cracked discipline. Iter grinned faint. He's calling reserves, but beacons tag those too. Narrow Vales huddled in Raider medpod. Human extract had left the ship gutted, crew scattered. Young Vale fluttered, protocol shattered. Eli's defiance replayed, child unmoved by threats, sketching defiance. Humans, tick true, Narrow whispered. Tendril tapped emergency comm, Iter's map guiding. Resolute, this Vale speaks, prefect's codes transmit. Vance's console pinged, alien juvenile, Iter vetted. Legit, ma'am, Raider defector, sending now. Codes flooded, Varun's reserves blinked exposed. Integrate, Vance ordered. Layer 3 live. Alien packs reformed sloppy. Desync bit deep, missiles veered into siblings. Human cutters danced edges, planting more beacons mid-skirmish. Restraint held, no glassing. Disable, tag, contain. Varun's flag listed. Human lance drilled his comm mast. Prefect roared, bargain the child. No. Vance cut the line. Eli clutched his pad in medbay feed, watching with wide eyes. Vance patched through. Stay put, kid, vents later. Eli nodded firm. Got it, Commander. Prefect's fleet crumbled. Hulks joined the Raider graveyard. Task groups mopped stragglers, boarding parties for intel, not kills. Aliens fought fierce, boarding claws, shredding bulkheads. Humans countered, coordinated, drones herding, stunners dropping packs. Iter tallied. 28 disabled. 10 fleeing desync, flags neutralized. Kess chimed. Sheer window closing, clean exit. Vance exhaled. Recall all, secure the drift. Narrow's signal steadied, accidental ally, protocol breaker inspired by a human child's grit. Varun's cell feed activated. Prefect slumped against force field, tendrils limp. How? Superiority? Scheduled. Vance turned from the tank. One child prompted this. Humanity protected lines with checklists, not fury. Medbay doors hissed. Eli shuffled in, pad under arm, LT. Sato, Iter trailed, vouching the kid's clearance. He mapped 3 more Raider weak points, ma'am. Vance knelt level. Stubborn work, Eli, kid shrugged. They tripped on their own claws. Narrow's evac shuttle docked. Young alien emerged, veils quivering under escort. Eli extended the pad. Your vents too. Narrow's tendril brushed screen. First contact, sketches, not speeches. Bridge alarms quieted. Grid cleared. Invasion, core world strike, cancelled by ghosts. Task force coiled anew. Iter leaned in. Distant shadows, ma'am. Second wave plotting. Vance eyed the tank. Tag them early. Clocks reset. Humans ticked true. Varun watched from brig as Narrow passed, his own veil defected. Traitor spawn, Narrow paused. You broke first, Prefect. Human child did not. Cell sealed, superiority cracked wide. Resolute accelerated, layers reformed. Eli sketched beside Vance, pad glowing, protective line held, one abduction answered, fleet brought numbers, humans brought the calendar, but Iter's console spiked. Ma'am, hyperspace ripple, not theirs, ours, Vance straightened. New signatures bloomed, human reinforcements, or bait turned trap. Lock beacons, she said, plot intercepts. Shadows deepened, precision waited, medbay doors hissed wide. Vance gripped Eli's shoulder lightly and steered him past the threshold. Techs in crisp white snapped to attention, scanners humming alive. "Full check, priority 1, Vance ordered. No delays." Eli clutched his pad tighter. His eyes darted to the glowing bays, but he planted his feet. "I'm fine, Commander. Vents were cold, that's all." A tech knelt, vitals cuff deploying. "Sit, kid, protocol." Vance nodded once. Eli sat. She turned to the cluster of officers crowding the door. Captain Reyes pushed forward, grin splitting his face. "Ma'am, fleet-wide hails prepped. 1 kid back, heroes welcome across the grid." "No," Vance's voice cut clean. "No hails, no parades, prisoners first, all of them processed, documented, and secured before any victory lap." Reyes blinked. "But the intercept." "Checklists, Captain." She met his eyes. 1 abduction, 1 answer, clean lines only." He saluted sharp and backed out. Doors sealed. Vance watched the cuff readout stabilize, green across the board. Eli's stubborn streak had held vitals steady, no fractures from the raid or hold. "Clear," the head tech said. "Stubborn baseline for a 10-year-old." Eli hopped down, pad under arm. "Told you." Vance ruffled his hair once. "Bridge now, your maps stay live." They moved out. Corridor hummed with restrained energy. Crew nodded tight, no cheers. Discipline rippled from her lead. Bridge doors parted. LT. Sato Itter hunched over his console, fingers flying across holokeys. Captured raider data streamed in fractal bursts, signal leaks dissected into doctrine maps. "Transmit it," Vance said, dropping into command chair. Eli slid beside Itter, pad sinking seamless. Itter glanced up. "Neutral channels locked. Proof packet, abduction vids, manifests, Varun's own orders, going live to conquered neutrals now." "Send." Data surged out. Itter's screens bloomed with acknowledgments. Alien political nets cracked first. Veil conquered, spokes shattered under the weight. "Their cover collapses, ma'am. Prefect's raid tagged rogue op, no deniability." Vance watched the cascade, 1 leaked order cross-referenced. Human intel turned minutes into millennia of fallout. Aliens schemed in veils, humans parsed truths bare. Alarms pinged soft. "Doctor." Yara Kess strode in from engineering bay, her temporal rig slung over shoulder like a rifle. Chrono beacon core pulsed in her grip, raider tech, now human dissected. "Networks mapped," Kess said, flat tone, no flourish. "Their beacons sync fleet jumps." "I invert the cascade, dismantle live." "Do it." Vance tapped the tank. Raider fleet ghosts flickered, jumps desensing. Kess plugged in. Clocks warped on her display. Raider shadows stuttered, arrivals delayed into voids. "Locked. Causal constraints applied." "No rebound without oversight." "Joint oversight?" Vance asked. Kess nodded. "Conquered human accord, method sealed, abuse-proof." Beacons died fleet-wide. Invasion, core-world strike, erased from timelines. Humans didn't rewrite history, they pruned errors precise. Eli leaned into Itter's feed. "That ripple earlier, our signatures?" Itter cross-checked. "Reinforcements, ma'am, 3rd Fleet elements, intercepts plotted." Vance exhaled, measured. "Hold position, process prisoners next." Brig levels down. Vance led the escort. Narrow of veils waited in holding, tendrils coiled under human-issue blanket. Young aliens' veils quivered at her approach, no fear, curiosity sharp. "Young Narrow," Vance said. Translators hummed soft. "Protected status granted, full asylum under conquered law." Narrow's tendril extended. "Human child." Eli, shared vents, broke nothing. Eli stepped forward, pad out. "Your maps helped, fair trade." First alliance sealed in sketches, Narrow's veils stilled. Aliens prized veils for deception. This one chose truth after watching a human kid shrug off chains. Cell beside stirred. Prefect Koth Varun slammed against force field. His veils lashed wild. "Defector spawn, you witness human tricks." Narrow turned. "You took one." They answered all. "You broke protocol first, Prefect. Human child refused." Varun recoiled. His eyes, multifaceted, locked on Vance. "Commander, bargain, return my Velair, fleet yields." Vance faced him level, no anger, checklists complete. "No bargains with kidnappers." "You go home alone." Escort prepped shuttle. Varun boarded under guard. Vance stepped to the airlock. 1 data chit extended. "Message for your council." She slotted it. 1 abduction answered. "Humans keep promises, not trophies." Shuttle clamped free. Varun's glare burned last. Aliens raided with claws and numbers. Humans answered with clocks and codes. Bridge again. Itter's console spiked fresh. "Ma'am, hyperspace blooms, not raiders. Conquered envoy inbound, demanding parley." Vance eyed the tank. Reinforcements coiled tight. Eli sketched new weak points beside her. Neryl watched from observer post, Vale's calm. "Prep channels," she said. "Precision holds." Shadows shifted, promises ticked true, one child safe, lines redrawn, but the envoy's sig carried weight, Vale conquered full court. Or trap Vale deeper, fleet ghosts whispered. Humans waited, calendars aligned.